Hey guys, welcome. Today I thought I would share a birth story with you. Bella's birthday is today, which has me thinking about when she was born a year ago. I cannot believe it's been a year. So I have decided to do a new series of all of my birth stories. I have 4 kids, so I have 4 birth stories, and I would love to share those, one per video. So anyway, let's start with Bella. Bella is my baby and I am struggling so much with her being 1. Oh my goodness, you guys. It's hard for me to even think about because it just makes me want to cry that she is so old already. But okay, so 4 kids, 4 different stories, totally different births, totally different pregnancies. Bella was probably one of my most difficult pregnancies. I had not anything major wrong, but I just had a few issues here and there. She was also my baby after my miscarriage, and so there's just, when you're pregnant after being miscarried, if you've done that before, you understand there's just this nagging feeling through your whole pregnancy, or at least the very beginning of your pregnancy for sure. So there was also that. But yeah, so she actually was scheduled to be induced because I had extremely low iron, and I think my doctor just felt better having it planned. She wanted to keep an eye on me. She didn't want me to labor too long, being my 4th baby. There was a lot going on that she wanted to monitor and keep an eye on and keep a track with. So we went ahead and scheduled her. And I had been laboring for weeks with Bella, and she just was not coming. I mean, like full out real labor. I mean, it was my 4th, so I know what real labor feels like. It was labor, but it just would never move on. It just would stall and then go away and then come back a few hours later. Anyway, so I did that for probably maybe 2 weeks. So I was so ready for delivery day. I was done. I'm like, oh my word, I am done with this laboring. I am done not being able to move. Let's get this over with. So we went in, and I didn't want, I knew we were there for an induction, but I didn't want to do any epidural. I did an epidural in the past and I hadn't liked it. I had done a natural birth in the past and I liked that much better. So that's what I wanted to do again. Even though it was induction, I still didn't want to do the pain meds. So that's the way we started out, and I labored for several hours there at the hospital. Oh my goodness, it was so uncomfortable, so miserable, and they were good. They actually let me get up and move around. I was able to get on the birthing ball, which they had not let me done with my first 3 at all. So that was really nice that I was able to move around some. But what we finally decided was, even though I was laboring and I could not believe that I hadn't even progressed, I was like stuck at a 2, which is really weird for me. That if you hear my others, that is not the way I normally go. Maybe I should have started these stories with my first one. I don't know. Anyway, so I was stuck at a 2, and we decided that she was like stuck on my pelvis bone. She was like crooked and she just wouldn't move over. So I finally, at this point, I was so tired. I was so tired of laboring. I finally was like, all right, let's do an epidural because I'm miserable. I just can't anymore. I'm done. So we went ahead and did the epidural, and oh my word, I don't know. I don't know if I would do that again or not because it was horrible. It was so painful. Oh my goodness. It was worse than the labor, but it was quick and it was over. I mean, and I'd had an epidural before and it didn't hurt like that to get it. So I don't know what was the deal with that, but that hurt. It hurt bad. Now, I will say, once we got past that initial hurt of the actual epidural, getting it going, I was pain-free. I couldn't feel anything. I felt great. And I even was able to like rest. And since I didn't feel anything, I was also able to kind of move in positions to help move her over. And after I got the epidural, she was probably born about maybe 2 hours later. I think I probably needed that to help me relax and to get her to slide over, and then she was out. She was done. And it was funny because my doctor came in to check on me, and she's like, oh yeah, you're finally making progress. I think we're doing good here. I'll come back and check on you in like, a couple hours. 20 minutes later, I was like, I need her, get her back in here. And they're like, oh no, surely not. And I'm like, no, it's time. And yeah, they grabbed her, and yep, baby was there. Baby was already coming by the time doctor came in. She's like, oh, I'll catch. So once she finally got off that pelvis bone, she slid right out. So yeah, and then recovery was not bad at all. I will say that is a nice thing about the epidural for when you tear, because I've torn with all of mine. All of that was much less painful, all the afterwards. Yeah, it was smooth sailing. And I was actually able to get up after this one, which the one in the past, you'll hear another, I could not. So that was different. I was able to get up and move around with this one after the epidural. Well, after she was born, not during. But maybe, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half after she was born, I was able to get up and move around. So I didn't think that was too bad. But yeah, okay, so I'll show you some pictures here. This is me going into the hospital. Ta-da! And I would put the pictures on here, you know, like some people do and talk over it. But yeah, I'm not fancy like that. I don't know how to do that. But yeah, and then here's sweet baby. There's sweet Bella. After she was born, she was 7 pounds, 2 ounces, and she was 20.5 inches long. Oh my goodness, so sweet. I just love the newborn baby stage. I think the first year of their life is my favorite. I love it. I have been with Bella all 365 days of her first year. I have nursed her every single day. I have rocked her every single day. There's not been a day that I have not had her with me, and I love it. Oh my goodness. I mean, not that I don't love the older stages, but just something about that first year is just so sweet and so special, and oh, I would relive all of their first years again if I could. I would totally relive them. But yeah, so shortly after Bella was born, we didn't have any complications. I guess I should add that. Part of the reason, you know, we were had it scheduled and all of that was because we were worried about some complications and stuff, and everything ended up being just fine, which is great. I was a little worried about it and a little stressed out, but it all turned out just fine. She was just fine. It was all perfect. So that was nice. My sweet husband went and got me some food from Chili's to eat, which they have good food at the hospital, but I wanted that. So that's what we did. And then my mom was watching my other 3 children. So she brought them up to the hospital and they all got to meet sweet Bella. The older 2 loved her. Poor Wesley though, my third, he wasn't too sure about that. And I don't know if he was just scared because he'd never really been in a hospital before, or if, or at least not that he can remember. He'd been in one previous for several different things actually, but anyway. Or if he was mad at me for leaving him, or if he's mad because I had a new baby. I don't know, but he is normally like a mama's boy. He wants to be with me all the time. He wants to be held. He wanted to sit in my lap. He wanted nothing to do with me at the hospital. He didn't want to say hello. He didn't want to sit in my lap. He didn't want a hug. He just sat with my mom and didn't want anything to do with me. Now, once I got home, he was fine and he crawled up in my lap and wanted to be rocked and stuff. So I don't know, but he was not interested in anything at the hospital. So I don't know, that worried me a little. I was like, oh, my baby doesn't want to be my baby. But it turned out okay. So yeah, they got to come see the baby that night. I think she was, oh, I can't remember what time. She was born maybe around like 4 o'clock-ish, 4:30-ish, something like that. And they came by after dinner and got to see her. And then, yeah, you know, we stayed in the hospital for 3 days, which feels like forever. I'm not really big on staying in the hospital. I hate how you feel trapped. So I was ready to get out of there. It was driving me crazy. But it was sweet at the same time because, you know, I'm able to just lay in bed and I just held Bella and just enjoyed her being a baby. I was able just to sit there and hold her for 3 days without any other distractions or anybody else, you know, needing anything. And that was sweet at the same time. So that was a sweet time with her. Recovery, I feel like went really well, honestly. By the time I got home, I mean, obviously I was still recovering, but I felt ready to go. I'd been sitting around for 3 days and I was done. I was ready to go. I was ready to get stuff done. Let's do some stuff. We went to the zoo. Not that first week I got home, but I think it was like the next week. Bella was probably like 2.5 weeks old. That just shows how good I felt. I mean, I was good. I was ready to go. I mean, and we took it easy. We did not do the whole zoo. We just spent a little bit of time, looked at a few animals. You know, just I needed to get out. I needed out. So that was a good place to go. And actually, it was pretty minimal exposure to anything too, because we were just outside and we just looked at a few things. It was a pretty empty day at the zoo, so there weren't people around really. It worked out well. But yeah, if you are not like that, if you just had a baby and you're sitting there and it's 3 weeks out and you're like, oh my word, I still can't even get out of bed, do not feel bad, because that is not always the way I have been. This particular birth, I recovered, I feel like, really quickly from. It worked well for me. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I've had so many other babies. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it was just this time. But yeah, so that worked really well. But yeah, so that's kind of my birth story. You guys see Bella here and now, I mean, on the video and stuff, but she's doing great. I'm doing great. It's a year. It's been an amazing year. It has been a super fast year. I seriously cannot believe it's been a year. It really does feel like maybe 5 months ago. It does not feel like a year at all. So yeah, I am looking forward to spending more time with my sweet babies, and thank you so much for watching. I have a first birthday party coming up for her that will be on here probably sometime next week. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. I have 3 more birth stories coming up. I'm also doing a home series where I'm doing tours of different rooms in our house that's going on, and I would love for you guys to join us on any of those. I will talk to you all later. Bye.